Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. MTG Box Analysis here to take a look at Ravnica Allegiance. So we've got the brand new Ravnica Remaster set coming up, so I've been kind of going through kind of a rehash of what Ravnica will likely offer, and this is the last box in the series before we get to the new remastered set. Apologize if I sound a little nasally. I'm getting over a cold. Seems like everybody on the planet has the flu. I am no exception. So I'm going to try and get through this, and I'll do my best to get the pronunciations right. So in this particular set, there are, believe it or not, 26 cards valued over $1. We're still looking for shock lands, but we're also looking for Smothering Tide. That's another big hit from this set. So let's see what this particular box has in store for us. We'll go through a couple of packs, card by card, and then we'll start skipping over the commons and just jump into the uncommons and the rares. So we got ourselves a Concordia Pegasus, followed by a Thought Collapse. Then we're going to see ourselves a Spewer, followed by a 10th District Veteran. Then we've got a Sagittar's Volley with a Noxious Grudion, with a Law Mage's Binding, followed by a Goblin Gathering. Then we're going to see ourselves a Blade Juggler, followed by Justicari's Portal. And our first uncommon is going to be Sahila Wayfinder, followed by a Forbidden Spirit. And then we're going to see ourselves a Cult Guild Mage, followed by Benthic Biomancer coming in with the Adapt mechanic. And then right behind that, we're going to see ourselves the Radko's Guildgate with a Spirit Token. All right. So a couple other cards that we're looking for besides the Smothering Tide. We're also looking for a Guardian Project. That would be a good hit for us, valued at around $12. There's a couple of uncommons that do hold some value, because I got that pack backwards. So we'll keep an eye out for those. Looking for Rhythm of the Wild and a Wilderness Reclamation. So we got ourselves a Storm Strike, followed by Bring to Trial. Then we're going to see ourselves a Coral Commando, followed by a Feral Maca. Then we're going to see a Territorial Boar with a Plague Weight. Then we're going to see a Goblin Gathering, followed by a Senate Griffin. Then we're going to see a Catacomb Crocodile, followed by a Summary Judgment with a Rhythm of the Wild. There we go. So this is the best uncommon in the set, currently valued at $5 in non-foil. If we can find this in foil, it does hold a premium of $20. So we'll just put that one to the side. And we're going to see another one of the Wayfinders, followed by, looks like we got a couple of these. So we got Carnival and Carnage, followed by a Warrant and Warden coming in as our rare split card. There's only one split card that is valued over $1, and that is the Repudiate Replicate, valued at just over $1. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. And then we got ourselves an Azorius Guildgate, followed by a Zombie. And I realize I probably already mispronounced. I pronounced this Radkos Guildgate instead of Rakdos. It's just, I don't know. That's the way I read it when I first read it, like 7 years ago, and I've been pronouncing it that way every time. So I'll try and correct myself in this video. So we got ourselves a Gravelhide Goblin with a Vizkopa Vampire, followed by a Consigned to the Pit, followed by Gift of Strength. Then we're going to see ourselves a Growth Spiral with an Exposed to Daylight. And we're going to see a Grotesque Demise, followed by a Sphinx's Insight. Then we're going to see ourselves a Burn Bright with a Senate Courier. And then we're going to see ourselves, this is going to be a Consecrate Consume, followed by a Clan Guild Mage with a Wilderness Reclamation. This is going to be the other uncommon, valued over $1, valued just around $2. And then we're going to see ourselves the Repudiate Replicate. So this is the one split card valued over $1 at $1.51. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves the Gruul Guildgate with a Spirit Token. All right, this pack is going to kick off with the Fairy Duelist. Then we're going to see a Gore Clan Wrecker with a Civic Stalwart. Then we're going to see a Rakdos Trumpeter, followed by an Open the Gates with a Carrion Imp. Then we're going to see a Ceruli Caretaker with an Aeromunculus with an Ill-Gotten Inheritance, followed by a Senate Guildmage. Then we're going to see ourselves an Angelic Exaltation, followed by a Gates Ablaze. And then we're going to see Nikia of the Old Ways coming in as our rare, not a high value rare. And then we're going to see ourselves the first foil of the box, which is a Noxious Grudian coming in. Not a high value foil. And then we're going to see an Orzhov Guildgate with a Beast. I guess we'll put our foils over to the side. All right, so this is pack number 5, so this will be the last one that we go through all the commons on, and then we'll start skipping through them. There is one common valued over $1, so if we see it, I'll call it out. So we got a Storm Strike with a Civic Stalwart. Then we're going to see the Fairy Duelist with a Gore Clan Wrecker, followed by a Plague Weight, an Axebane Beast, a Footlight Fiend with a Watchful Giant. Then we're going to see a Final Payment, followed by an Ill-Gotten Inheritance with a Sunder Shaman. Then we're going to see ourselves a Pyrimender, followed by a Macabre Mockery with a Font of Agonies coming in as our rare, followed by a Rakdos Guildgate and a Treasure Token. All right, sliding into pack number 6. This one we'll do the fast forward magic on. First uncommon is going to be a Dagger Caster, followed by a Frilled Mystic. And then we're going to see ourselves an Essence Capture with Judith the Scourge Diva coming in as our rare. Heavily reprinted, so Judith, unfortunately, not a high value rare anymore. Then we're going to see ourselves an Azorius Guildgate with an Illusion Token. First uncommon is going to be a Mortify, followed by a Screaming Shield. Then we're going to see a Macabre Mockery with a Mass Manipulation coming in as our rare, followed by an Orzhov Guildgate and a Human Token. None of the tokens in the set do hold any value, so just in case you were wondering, there's no secret value there. All right, so we got ourselves, I missed it, Senate Guildmage with an Azorius Skyguard, and then we're going to see ourselves a Drill Bit, followed by a Revival and Revenge is our rare. And then we are going to see a Hackerbat coming in as an uncommon foil. Unfortunately, not a high value foil there. Then we're going to see the Gruul Guildgate with an Ooze Token. First uncommon is going to be a High Alert, followed by a Biogenic Upgrade. Then we're going to see ourselves a Tower Defense with an Angel of Grace Mythic coming in at a white. Very cool to see that. Unfortunately, not super high value. Then we get the Azorius Guildgate with a Centaur. There is the one common valued over $1, and that is the Persistent Petitioners. So that is currently valued just over $1. We'll see how the the Ravnica Remastered set deals with that card, and if that card drops even further in value. All right, first uncommon is going to be a Frilled Mystic, followed by a Wall of Lost Thoughts. Then we're going to see ourselves a Sentinel's Mark, followed by a Lumbering Battlement coming in as our rare with a Gruul Guildgate and a Spirit Token. All right, first uncommon is going to be the Hackerbat with a Gruul Beastmaster. Then we're going to see ourselves a Spire Mangler, followed by a Breeding Pool. Very cool to see this. This is going to be the most valuable shock land that we could pull from the set. So very cool to see that early on in the box. And behind it, we're going to see a foil Senate Griffin, followed by an Azorius Guildgate and an Emblem Token in the back. All right, so we're going to give the Breeding Pool its own little stack up here. And we'll see how many shock lands we can get. So far, we saw 2 in one box and 1 in another box when we were opening up other sets of Ravnica. Persistent Petitioners again, number 2. All right, we're going to see ourselves a Mortify, followed by an Incubation and Incongruity with a Regenesis, and we're going to see ourselves Domri Chaos Bringer coming in as a mythic hit for us. Unfortunately, not a high-value mythic. And then we're going to see ourselves a Gruul Guildgate with a Zombie. All right, we got ourselves a Windstorm Drake, followed by a Sentinel's Mark. Then we're going to see ourselves an Orzhov Enforcer with an Absorb coming in as our rare, followed by a Gruul Guildgate and a Thopter token in the back. All right, we got ourselves, I missed it, a Trollbred Guardian as our first uncommon with a Code of Constraint, followed by a Combine Guildmage, and then we're going to see ourselves Cindervines coming in as our rare, followed by a foil Sphinx of the Guild Pack. Very cool to see that. And then we're going to see ourselves a Simic Guildgate with an Illusion. So what's interesting is the most or the highest foil multiplier is actually on a common. It is Shimmer of Possibility, valued at 3 cents in non-foil and almost at $2 or 66 times more valuable as a foil. All right, we got ourselves a Sphinx of New Proved, followed by a Syndicate Guildmage. Then we're going to see ourselves a Tin Street Dodger, followed by, there we go, Smothering Tide. This is going to be the most valuable card that we can pick up in the set in non-foil. So glad to see that we just got one of those. And then behind that, we're going to see the Azorius Guildgate and a Goblin. So I'm going to make a little bit of room and put that right up top so I can sleeve it immediately after the opening. These Ravnica boxes have been beating me up as of late, so I'm glad to see that we're actually getting some value out of this one. First uncommon is going to be a Gateway Sneak, followed by a Gyre Engineer. Then we're going to see ourselves a Syndicate Guildmage with Rampage of the Clans coming in as our rare, followed by a Simic Guildgate and a Spirit token in the back. Still only at 4 foils so far in the box. Another big foil to look out for is Open the Gates. If we can find that one in foil, 24 cents for the non-foil, $9.41 or 39 times more valuable. All right, we got ourselves a Clear the Stage, followed by a Combine Guildmage. Then we're going to see ourselves a Wilderness Reclamation number 2, valued over $2. And then we're going to see ourselves Awake the Erstwhile coming in as our rare, followed by a Gruul Guildgate and an Ooze token. First uncommon is going to be a Clamor Shaman, followed by a Tower Defense. Then we're going to see ourselves Sphinx of the Guild Pact again. And then we're going to see an Immolation Shaman coming in as our rare, followed by an Orzhov Guildgate and a Frog Lizard token. I think we're right about at the halfway point. The final foil conversion multiplier that I'll talk about is the Gateway Plaza. If we can find that one in non-foils, valued at 14 cents, and in foil, 32.9 times more valuable at $4.60. All right, so we got ourselves an Angelic Exaltation, followed by Sphinx of New Prov, followed by a Collision and Colossus, followed by an Ethereal Absolution. Then we're going to see ourselves an Azorius Guildgate with a Spirit token. All right, right off rip, there's another Persistent Petitioners. That's number 3 of the box. All right, we got a Gateway Sneak, followed by a Collision Colossus again, followed by Flames of the Raised Boar, and then we're going to see Ravnica Allegiance Renegade coming in as our rare. This is going to hold some value for us, and behind that we're going to see ourselves a Simic Locket coming in foil, not a high-value foil, with a Simic Guildgate and a Zombie. And that does mark our 5th foil of the box, which is pretty low, so hopefully we'll see some more foils in the next stack. All right, we've got another Clear the Stage to kick this one off with a Smelt Ward Ingus. Then we're going to see a Swirling Torrent, followed by a Mirror March, another rare valued over $1, followed by a Simic Guildgate and a Thopter token. Got ourselves the Galloping Lizrog, followed by an Azorius Skyguard. And then we're going to see ourselves a Resolute Watchdog with A Stomping Ground coming in. This is going to be the second least valuable, but still valued over $9, and it's still a shock land, so I will take it for sure. And then behind that, we're going to see the Rakdos Guildgate with a Beast token. So hooray, already up to 2 shock lands and a Smothering Tide. This is the best Ravnica box of the 3 so far, I can already tell. All right, first uncommon is going to be a Screaming Shield, followed by a Windstorm Drake. And then we're going to see ourselves a Spirit of the Spires with a Theater of Horrors coming in as our rare, followed by a Simic Guildgate and a Spirit token in the back. All right, final pack in stack number 2. All right, so we're going to see a Trollbred Guardian, followed by a Fireblade Artist. Then we're going to see ourselves a Scrabbling Claws with a Bedeck and Bedazzle coming in as our rare, followed by an Azorius Guildgate and a Sphinx token. All right, we got ourselves the Gate Colossus as our first uncommon, followed by a second Rhythm of the Wild. So we now have 2 for the box, followed by a Tin Street Dodger, and then we're going to see ourselves a Sphinx of Foresight coming in as our rare with a Simic Guildgate and a Beast token. All right, another Gate Colossus with a Sky Tether. And then we're going to see ourselves a Spire Mangler, followed by a Ravager Worm coming in as a mythic hit for us. And then behind that, we're going to see the Rakdos Guildgate and a Human. All right, we got an Enraged Ceratok, followed by a Ministrant of Obligation. And then we're going to see ourselves the Spire Mangler with Precognitive Perception coming in as our rare. Not a high value rare. Then we're going to see the Simic Guildgate with a Thropter, or a Thopter token. There we go. We now have a playset of the Persistent Petitioners. All right, we got the Rakdos Firewheeler, followed by Eyes Everywhere. And then we're going to see Cry with the Canarium, followed by an Electro Dominance coming in as our rare. This is going to be a pretty decent hit value, just over $4. And behind that, we're going to see, oh wow, look at that. We got ourselves a foil Smothering Tide to make that pack even better. This is valued pretty close to $22. So we'll go ahead and put that down. Then we got a Gruul Guildgate and a Human token in the back. So now we've got the double Smothering Tide, double Shockland, double Rhythm of the Wild, double Wilderness, and a quadruple Persistent Petitioners. This is turning out to be quite the box. All right, first uncommon is going to be a Depose and Deploy with a Vindictive Vampire. And then we're going to see ourselves Flames of the Razeboar with Kaya Orzhov Usurper coming in as a mythic hit for us. And then behind that, we're going to see the Rakdos Guildgate with a Spirit token. All right, we got a Shark to Crab, followed by a Cult Guildmage. Then we're going to see ourselves a Junk Troller, followed by a Bedevil coming in as our rare, with a foil Territorial Boar coming in. And then we're going to see ourselves the Azorius Guildgate and a Goblin. So we're still only at 7 foils for the box, including the Smothering Tide, which is, I think, still pretty low. I think we're going to see 2 more. All right, we've got a Zur-Ta Goblin coming in as our first uncommon with an Archway Angel. Then we're going to see ourselves the Sphinx of the Guild Pack with a Prime Speaker Vanifair coming in as our mythic. Unfortunately, only valued just over $1. Then we get a Rakdos Guildgate with a Goblin. We are down to 5 packs to go. First uncommon is going to be the Rakdos Firewheeler, followed by an Eyes Everywhere with a Resolute Watchdog, and our rare is going to be the End Raise Forerunners. Lots of promo cards of this running around. Then we get the Orzhov Guildgate with a Spirit token. All right, we got the Orzhov Racketeers, followed by a Pyrimander. Then we're going to see ourselves Knight of the Last Breath with a Gutter Bones coming in as our rare, followed by an Orzhov Guildgate and a Goblin token in the back. 3 packs remaining. All right, we got another Shark to Crab, followed by a Dagger Caster. Then we're going to see ourselves a Fireblade Artist with a Tome of the Guild Pack coming in as our rare. And behind that, we're going to see an Orzhov Guildgate with a human. All right, 2 packs remaining. If we don't get any more foils, this will be the lowest foil count of the Ravnica series. All right, we got a Basilica Bellhaunt, followed by Rally to Battle. Then we're going to see a Spirit of the Spires with a Deputy of Detention coming in as our rare. We are going to see a foil. It is a Pestilent Spirit coming in as a rare foil. Very cool. And then we're going to see ourselves a Rakdos Guildgate with an Ooze. All right, so we got 2 rares. One was the best one we could hope for, the Smothering Tide, and the other one, not so much. All right, so this one kicks off with a Rubble Belt Recluse. Then we're going to see an Arrester's Zeal with a Slime Bond, followed by a Mammoth Spider. Then we're going to see an Undercity Scavenger, followed by a Skitter Eel. Then we're going to see a Debtor's Transport, followed by an Orzhov Locket with a Frenzied Arnyx, with a Gruul Locket. Then we've got a Zerta Goblin with an Archway Angel, followed by an Orzhov Enforcer. And in the back, we're going to... Holy cow, we're going to see a 3rd Smothering Tide. Wow, 2 non-foil and 1 foil in this box. That is amazing. And then we're going to see ourselves a Simic Guildgate with a Spirit. Last pack magic, amazing. All right, so give me just a moment. I'll get everything sorted, organized, and be right back with the MTG box analysis. Let's get things started by reviewing the contents of the box. Using this chart, we can see the set shaded in gray, the non-foils we observed in green, and the foils in orange. We ended up seeing between 65 and 69 cards for each of the colors of Magic in non-foil, along with 130 multicolor, 28 artifact, and 41 non-basic lands. In the foil space, we saw a total of 8 foils spread across a few of the set categories. Moving into coverage, in the non-foil space, we saw 216 unique cards from the 259 card set, giving us 83% coverage. Our highest coverage among the colors of Magic was a tie between white and blue with 90% coverage each. In the foil space, we only saw 8 unique cards, which gave us 3% coverage of the 259 card set. Pivoting to coverage by rarity, in today's box we saw every single common and 88% of the uncommons in non-foil. We also saw 30 of the 53 rares for 57% coverage and 5 non-foil mythics for 33% coverage. In the foil space we saw 4% of the commons and 3% of the uncommons and 2 foil rares, which was good enough for 4% coverage. From a duplication standpoint, this box contained 147 cards repeated 316 times for a box duplication rate of 59%. Before getting into the value of today's booster box, let's take a look at the current value of the set. This chart displays all 259 cards using non-foil market prices as of January 6, 2024. Currently, the set contains 5 cards valued over $10. Only 3 of the 5 Shocklands are featured in this dollar category, along with the Guardian Project and the Smothering Tithe. The set also contains 4 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 16 cards in the $1 to $5 range. The other 234 cards in the set are currently valued under $1. A full set of all 259 cards has a current market value of $170.53. Now let's recap the actual observed value that we saw in today's box, starting off with a look at the non-foils. In today's box, we were smothered in value, seeing the number 1 Shockland, the Breeding Pool, valued at $17.70, and 2 Smothering Tides, valued at $18.96 apiece. We also saw 3 cards in the $5 to $10 range, with 2 Rhythm of the Wilds and a Stomping Ground. Plus, we picked up 11 cards in the $1 to $5 range. The remaining 515 non-foils in the box, however, are currently valued under $1. In the foil space, we again saw another Smothering Tide valued at $22.14, along with 7 non-foils valued under $1. So how did this box perform? Well, the market price for this box as of January 6, 2024 is $99.35. The Ravnica Allegiance booster box that we opened contained 36 packs, each with 15 cards, allowing us to see 540 cards plus tokens. The 36 tokens that we saw have a current market value of $4.96. The 36 guild gates that we picked up are valued at $3.13 combined. Our 355 commons are currently valued at $23.31, and our 111 commons are valued at $25.99. The 34 rares that we pulled are valued at $106.54, and the 5 mythics are valued at $3.86. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box comes up to be $167.79 in card market value, which is a gain of $68.44 over the market price, and means that this box returned 169% of the market price in card value. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 11 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $109.29, which means that those 11 cards represent 65% of the total box value, but 110% of the market price. I can't believe we almost got a full playset of the Smothering Tide in this box. Just amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can watch me crack open the brand new Ravnica Remastered. Until next time, do something amazing. Get early access to videos, download the analysis for every box open on the channel, and personally DM me, just like these fine people. All by becoming a member of the channel through YouTube or over at mtgboxanalysis.com. You'll find links in the description. Until next time, do something amazing.